Natural disasters can be costly in the damage they create, leaving communities and vulnerable populations at risk. But wetlands like these are an example of protection as a barrier against climate change. I'm Sarah Pila at the Los Cerritos wetlands in Seal Beach, where I'll show you why restoring natural infrastructure can be vital in the fight against climate change and introduce you to a new type of insurance intended to protect Californians when catastrophe strikes. It's unique to see sand dunes like these on Southern California beaches these days. But here at Ormond Beach in Oxnard, the Nature Conservancy's coastal project director, Alyssa Mann, is part of a team working on an ambitious coastal habitat restoration project.
By having this expansive wetlands in front of South Oxnard provides an immense amount of protection from issues like sea level rise that we'll be grappling with more in the future.
Ormond Beach has a full transition zone of habitats, going from beach to sand dunes to wetlands to upland habitat. But coastal development has impacted habitats around SoCal, leading to storm surges and flooding like you see here in Laguna Beach this past August. Yet natural infrastructure is critical to saving California from the effects of climate change.
So reduce our greenhouse gas emissions and be able to store carbon within these habitats, but also address the impacts that we're going to see with things like sea level rise and coastal flooding.
Restoring the coastal habitat here in Ormond Beach and down the coast at the Los Cerritos wetlands in Seal Beach is part of California Insurance Commissioner Ricardo Lada's climate insurance plan. It's the first in the nation intended to protect consumers from the growing effects of climate change that oftentimes leave the most vulnerable at risk.
In our low-income communities, our immigrant communities, our seniors that are always the ones that are going to be disproportionately affected from climate change.
Climate insurance wouldn't be another policy for people to buy, but rather cities and governments to help communities rebuild after a natural disaster that leave marginalized groups disproportionately impacted. And those that invest in coastal marshes would get a reduced premium.
In California, we have a history of being innovative. We gotta join the rest of the world in these efforts to really use insurance as a way to not only protect us, but to help us mitigate and reinforce our natural infrastructure so that we're prepared for the next event.
Climate insurance is all about creative and preventative solutions, like incentivizing coastal wetland restoration that Alyssa says is a natural protectant, but one that's been decimated for years from development.
I think what's the big opportunity here is that, for all of us to recognize that when we protect nature, that nature can also protect us.
So as California faces increasing climate change threats, climate insurance aims to leave no one behind in a disaster and to help communities quickly bounce back when it occurs.